Hi, welcome to the MUFIC channel. I'm Kevin Church, and this month for March 2023, we have Stepp Sydnor as our Songwriter of the Month. How you doing, Stepp?
Yeah, good. Thanks to be here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. So tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into music and songwriting?
Well, at about 15 years old, I was invited to a youth group in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And that's where I came to faith. And so about a year later, the seniors were graduating from high school, and I was sitting cross-legged on the floor, and a guy named Don Hankinson came out and said, "Hey," he said, "we need somebody to play music when everybody graduates." And I looked at him, and I just said, "Well, there's nobody in our family that's musically inclined. Nobody's playing piano, not guitar."
Right.
That my dad did ballroom dancing, but it's not doing music; it's dancing. And I said, "Well, I don't have a guitar, and I don't have a music background." And he said, "Well, if we buy you a guitar, would you learn it?" And I had been that really touched me, and so they went out and bought me a little Yamaha guitar. I felt so obligated that now I had to be committed.
Right.
So they gave me a little song book for youth groups, songs that we did like "Do Lord" and "I'll Fly Away."
Oh.
And man, I practiced that every night. I remember doing an F chord and thought, "There's no way people can do this. This is so hard." But with practice, and I kept hammering away at it. And about 4 months later, I was up with the praise and worship people at the youth group doing music.
That is so cool. So you felt obligated because they got you the guitar.
Yes.
And you just poured your heart and soul into it and just put the grunt work in and got
Yeah, not knowing that it was going to be, it's kind of God's way of introducing you to something that you didn't know was going to be a big part of your life later on. So
right.
It was really a special time for me.
So a big part of your life later on. So tell us about that.
Well, when I started playing guitar, I was on my own at the age of 16. So my dad got remarried for the 6th time, and he moved back down to Corpus Christi. And so we left my brother and I in Richardson, Texas on our own. So went to high school from 7:30 to 10:30, and then I went to work at a pie shop.
Wow.
I worked full time, had my own apartment, started paying my own bills. Didn't have a high school life. I was very involved with the church, and the church was really good because there were great men and women there that were married because I didn't really have an example of anything.
Right.
My parents were very neglectful, and so the church really grew me up. That's where I grew up, and through that experience, I started writing songs just naturally about it was therapy to me. And that's how I started doing songwriting. I remember the first song I wrote was about Jesus in Galilee walking on the water, and I thought that was really cool. And the first time I ever sang it, I think I did a 15-minute introduction before I got the nerve up to start singing. You know how to start.
Yeah.
So since then, I started writing a lot of music, started performing. I did 2 CDs, I did 6 national radio releases. I had the opportunity to open up for a lot of popular contemporary Christian artists, and then got married, had 3 kids, and didn't want to travel on the weekend. That was the challenge that I had because I wanted to be with my children.
Right.
They were on the soccer field. I wanted to be there, and of course, most of these things happen at night or on the weekend, and I just chose I need to lay this instrument down for a little bit and raise kids.
Okay.
And so that's what I did for till my youngest graduated from high school.
So practically, 13, 15 years?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you still played in between, like at home, kind of played
all the time.
Playing
guitar, writing songs. I get a melody. My older brother's a pastor in East Texas, and so if his praise and worship leader wasn't there, he'd call me up, and if I was available, I'd go out there. And in between that, I always did corporate work. So, and then I was at an event, I was doing music. An author was there selling books. Nice. He emptied 3 boxes of books. I sold like 10 CDs. And I said, man, I need to write books. And so I've always paralleled that with corporate work. So I published 4 books.
Wow, that's incredible.
The latest book was called Go Beyond Surviving to Success. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, I picked my guitar up and felt that I really needed to continue writing songs. And that's when I started doing open mics in Dallas. And then when I came out here to Charleston, I saw a poster on the Park Circle Southern Roots about Songwriter.
Okay.
And so that's when I first started showing up out here.
That's wild. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, as we talk about songwriting, now get to that rather than your personal journey too.
Mm-hmm.
We always ask our songwriters, is it words or lyrics? Is it or music or a riff that maybe inspired the song? What is it that gets you going with songwriting? Like, where
usually
you lean?
The music or a melody that I'm playing. I could be playing 3 chords and there's a melody that shows up. And so I'll usually do that first. There's a song I wrote called Wonder with Belief. And really, it's 4 notes. That's how it starts off. And with some picking. I love picking types. And then I started thinking about, what does that sound like to me? What does that feel like to me? And so I ended up writing this song about everywhere you go with creation, you can't help but see a loving God creating this environment for us. And there's so many, I mean, Texas, somebody asked me today, would I better Texas or South Carolina? And I said, well, it's just different. I said, but it's a beautiful kind of different. And then you come to South Carolina and South Carolina, it's just, I ended up moving up here full time not too long ago. It's just charming. There's a romance about Charleston that is unlike any other place I've been, which is why I moved here.
Nice.
Which I wrote a song about Charleston too.
So that's awesome. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, I was on the, you asked me how did I get here? Well, I came up here because of a girl, and was 39,000 pounds, and she's 48 feet long overall length, and her name's Friendship. And so I would sit on the boat when the sun's kind of going down, and there's just things about Charleston that were just very beautiful, like just walking through downtown in a pre-revolutionary, city. Right. The Civil War. Right. You've got the Spanish moss, and when you are on the boat cruising up the intercoastal, the Spanish moss off the trees, along with the intercoastal and the rivers going in Charleston, it's just beautiful. So I wrote a song called Charleston, and when I'm doing open mics, like the other night, I was at an open mic and asked the audience, who's visiting, and 80% of the people are visiting, so I would teach them the chorus line of the Charleston song so they could sing it with me.
That's great. So I was going to ask you, what song are you going to do for us today?
Well, I'm going to do a song called Home Sweet Home.
Okay.
And
I love the title.
It has a backstory. I have some Ukrainian friends that live in Florida. I have a friend of mine I've known for a long time, Helena. And when the war broke out in Ukraine, her sisters got caught in that episode. And I can't imagine, bombs dropping around you, neighborhoods that you used to love to go to a coffee shop getting destroyed. Anyway, she needed some funds. Well, the first thing she asked me is there any place you can go to get funds to get her sisters out of the country? There wasn't anything. So she set up a GoFundMe, and I emailed all my friends. And I think probably 99% of the people I emailed, because you get these emails, you think they're spam.
Right,
so this is a real event.
Right.
You know who I am. You know me. I need you. Don't think about this. Just go give money. And I think we raised between $8,000 and $10,000.
That's wonderful.
It was enough to get her sisters out of the country, and then some extra money to get them established someplace else. So one's in Spain, another one I think is in Sweden. But it's still a very sad thing. They lost their homes. Their families are dispersed. I think one is cleaning houses. I mean, these are, career type people.
Right.
And so I started thinking about a song, and I came with Home Sweet Home to place the value of home is on people, not a house. And then when I was down in West Palm Beach last year, one of my best friends is a music producer. He came in, we got a hold of Atlanta, and we brought her out to a venue, and then we dedicated that song to her.
Oh,
so it was really, really, really a beautiful moment. But so the song is really for anybody that is separated from their home, separated from their family, dispersed because of a war situation, or it could be a death in the family.
I got you. Well, I'm looking forward to playing on it. And we have Karen Egan, who's going to be joining us shortly here.
Great.
So we're glad to have you on. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers about? Maybe a album you have that you're working on? Or?
Well, I am. Chris gave me a name of several people, so I'm going to be tracking them down and setting up time and going there, because I have a lot of songs. It's been a long time that I've recorded anything, and so I want to go ahead and record things so that people can listen to the music that they love. Things like the Charleston song, Home Sweet Home,
absolutely,
Nobody Here for Me. We have a song people love called Pontoon Boat. A lot of these things, but my focus isn't artists. My focus is songwriting for other artists.
Okay.
So when they're doing cover tunes, I want them doing my tunes.
Exactly. That's a good goal. I like it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad to have you on today.
And glad to be here.
It's great to meet you and talk with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Absolutely. Stepp Stevens, Sydnor, everybody.
Why would I travel miles and miles just to see a familiar smile? And why would I rush out at night just to catch a last minute flight? Well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Home, sweet home, I can't wait to see your face. It doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm heading home. Sweet home, this front porch and rocking chairs, the smell of popcorn in the air. I'm going home. Why would I laugh until I cry? You hear the same stories, they're just more amplified. And why would I visit on special days with even those I could barely tolerate? So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Home, sweet home, I can't wait to see your face. It doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm going home. Sweet home, there's coffee talks and apple pie, warm hellos and sad goodbyes. 'Cause I am dreaming of my home, sweet home. And I am dreaming of my home, sweet home, home sweet home. So why do I love my home? Because it's more than brick and stone. I so regret the times not shared, when at the table there is an empty chair. So let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Home, sweet home, I can't wait to see your face. It doesn't matter how long it takes, I'm heading home, sweet home. There's coffee talks and apple pie, warm hellos and sad goodbyes. 'Cause I am dreaming of my home, sweet home. 'Cause I am dreaming of my home, sweet home. And I am dreaming of my home, sweet home, home sweet home. All right, that was
nice.
good, man. I like that.
Yeah, it was
Thank
nice.
you. That was awesome.
I like the way we built it too. It sounded good. Good job, guys.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
MUFIC sets you free.